Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFLTV. We're in Birmingham. Huge fight this week, live on the zone. Tyler Denny versus Felix Cash. But before that, Ed, what's going on at 5 o'clock today? Come on.
It's coming home, son, isn't it? It's coming home. I think we're just so funny, aren't we? Like everyone, we win the first game, and it's just like doom and gloom, isn't it? I mean, oh, Kane didn't do much. Oh, he's so defensive, Southgate. Oh, I mean, really, the reality is, do we win today? Yes. Do we beat Slovenia? Probably. And then it's all down to the knockout stage, isn't it? I mean, I don't know a great deal of football. Obviously, I can play a bit. We know now. But let's just get behind the boys. Young team. I don't even know half the players in the team, I'll be honest with you. But as far as I'm concerned, it's fucking coming home. It's always coming home, isn't it, boy? Get up!
Get up there. Oh, right, we're going to end with something on England. Anyway, let's talk about this week's fight night at Birmingham. Bit disappointing that the Vong and Flynn fight, which, according to Cameron Vong now, won't ever happen with Jordan Flynn.
Yeah, I think unlikely that fight will happen. Now, sometimes when you've had two pullouts, you're better off to just let it go. But we'll see. I mean, it was, not one of the main fights on the card, main event or co-main event, but it was a fight we were looking forward to. It was a fight you boys look forward to up here because they go backwards and forwards.
I felt made it anyway.
Exactly. Well, you made it. You didn't make it because it didn't happen.
We tried, and God loves a trial.
No, but you made the fight. You no longer made the fight.
You made it twice.
It never happened. So you didn't make the fight, did it? So, but a good fight in Fury. Fair play, to Cameron Vong for stepping up. I've got to be honest with you. Every name that we put forward to Sam Jones, he accepted for Cameron Vong, and he's in a good fight. Great card. Shannon Ryan against Emma Dolan's a great fight. For me, Lewis Crocker against Conor Walker, I cannot wait to watch that fight. And Tyler Denny against Felix Cash. Felix Cash, who was on a tremendous run when he stopped Denzel Bentley, hasn't boxed for 18 months. And he's coming into the Lions Den here. We've got a good crowd. Our Parsons has just turned up in a terrible England top. You put on some timber, son, haven't you?
It's called a tight fit.
Yeah, and really looking forward to the card. Sold a lot of tickets, a lot of great young talent, sold a lot of tickets on the card. I think you're going to get a great night of boxing.
There's still a lot of shows in Birmingham. It's kind of drifted off a little bit.
I'll be honest with you, Birmingham's a strange one because, and it's the same for this show, 80% of the tickets are coming from the fighters, and for some reason the box office has never really sold that well in Birmingham. Doesn't matter who's been on. When we did Amir Khan here, when we did the Yafai's here defending their world titles, etc. But the fighters sell very well. So we'll have 5,000, maybe a bit more in there on Saturday. And probably 4,000 of those. Tyler Denny's done 800. Conor Walker's done 500. Hamzudin's done 400. Ibrahim Spider's done 400. So the fighters are selling so many tickets, but the box office has always been notoriously slow here. But it's decent, solid crowd, great night of boxing. Ahead of really 4 really busy weeks. Of course, Birmingham this week, Bam against Sonny next week. Bam against Estrada next week with Sonny on the undercard as well. In Phoenix, going to be a huge show. Back for Johnny Fisher. Done nearly 6,000 already for Fisher against Babish at the Copper Box.
What can he hold in there?
7,000. It's going to be, I think it'll be full up. It'll be unbelievable. And then back to Philly for Jaron Ennis before a couple of weeks off. And then into the Riyadh season event. So busy time coming up. I'm really looking forward to the show this Saturday.
Did you see Evanesia a little while ago? Yeah, he's here.
Good. That's a good fight. That's had a really good response, that fight, to be honest with you, because I think Cody Crowley can fight, but no one really has heard of him. That was the problem with the fight. Everyone knows Avanesian comes to have a fight, and I think it'll be a very entertaining fight, but, sorry, Mr. Avanesian, Jaron Ennis is very, very special.
We shall see. Edward, let's talk about Devon Haney. Bit of a funny comment.
Well, he's one. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed, really. I mean, I think, firstly, I have no obligation to bid, right? My contract expired.
Couldn't you have bid what you thought the fight was worth, or didn't you think that bid was going to be sufficient enough to outbid Top Rank or whoever?
But sometimes That's a decent question for you, but the reality is I have a broadcaster. We have plans for our schedule. One of the other issues with that fight is it has to take place within 90 days of the bid, right? We're pretty much locked in up until October, November. So, you know, if it was November, December, it might have been a little bit different. And I also have my opinion. I actually think, and I've said this before, I think it's the right fight for Devin. But I have a number of fighters that are under contract. I have a number of fighters that I have obligations to, and I need my budget for those fighters. Now listen, if there's a fight that creates a lot of interest, if there's a fight that's going to drive subscribers to DAZN, of course, we will look at that on an individual basis. We did it with Teofimo Lopez against George Kambosos for the Undisputed Championship. But I had a conversation with DAZN. We all felt that this was not a fight that was going to drive subscribers. It wasn't a fight that was going to create loads of interest. And we just decided to pass and spend our money on those fighters that are contracted to us and we have an obligation with. Might be Jerome Boots Ennis, might be Bam, might be Subriel Matias, might be Liam Paro, might be all these guys who have long-term deals. And Devin is a free agent. You know, a lot of fighters talk about this quite, not boastfully, but, you know, I'm a free agent, which when things are going well, a free agency can be quite effective. The danger of a free agency is you aren't aligning yourself to a promoter. You don't have that emotional association with a promoter that's going to back you. And I'll always back Devin because he's a friend. But also at the same time, I have no obligation to do so because he hasn't done so to us and for me. So the situation was the night before the purse bid, I had a conversation with Devin and his team and his lawyer. And I said, I'd like to make the Liam Paro unification fight. I said, why don't you speak to WBC, see what's going to happen. I'll speak to DAZN. You know, we'll look at the bids tomorrow and then let me know. And no one got back to me. So, but also, Devon Haney owns Devon Haney Promotions, right? They are his promoter. But this is the problem with co-promoters and all these sort of, you know, that they don't want to take the risk. They want to be a promoter, but they don't want to put the dough up. And we weren't prepared to put the dough up for this fight. And also because when you say about bidding anyway, I feel that the bid that I would have made wouldn't have won the purse bid. And it actually would have been quite a way off. Not a way off, but I wouldn't have bid 2.5 million for the fight.
What would you have bid for?
Now, maybe about 2. So, yeah, but listen, the problem is, I don't think it's a bad fight for Devon Haney. But I would like him to fight Liam Paro. And I will continue, by the way, those conversations to fight Liam Paro in Australia. Because right now we are planning a big homecoming for Liam Paro in October in Australia. And I would like it to be Devon Haney. But can it be for the unification? Probably not. So will he vacate that and fight for the IBF? So we've got options for Devon Haney. But unfortunately, Devon Haney against Sandor Martin was not really a fight that myself and DAZN were overly interested in.
Did you message Haney after that comment?
No.
Left it?
Yeah, I didn't like the comment, but listen, he's got no, at the end of the day, you know, I'll look out for Devin, but if you don't put your loyalty with someone, don't expect all of that loyalty back. I'll never do him wrong or do him dirty. I'll always help him where I can. But you got to understand, that's the kind of person I am. If you're with me, you're with me. I'm taking fucking bullets for you. If you ain't, if you want to pander about and be with me when it suits you, that's cool, because I'll be with you when it suits me, you know? And it didn't suit me on this occasion. Just like it didn't suit him to sign a long-term deal before he fought Regis Prograis. Or just like it didn't suit him when he went to Top Rank to fight Kambosos. All things that at the right time might have been good for his career. And this was good for my business. So that's the decision we made.
Okay, we haven't got loads of time today, so I've got to push through. Next week, huge press conference, Wednesday, I believe. You're still going to be a bit of a weirdo and not really tell us what's on it?
Yet. There's nothing done yet. Honestly, genuinely.
You're negotiating with someone for Joshua,
Yeah,
assuming that is
yeah,
Dubois.
Yeah, we're in final negotiations for AJ's fight. Nothing is agreed yet. But
You're telling me right now there's more than one option for Joshua when the fight's going to be announced
I'm
next
telling
Wednesday?
you right now, the fight with Daniel Dubois is not done. And if it don't get done, we won't fight him. So
Are you talking to other fighters?
we've got our options open. We're focused on fighting Daniel Dubois for the world title at Wembley. But it is not all agreed. There's still work to be done. But 100%, myself, His Excellency, George Warren, Spencer Pratt, we're all working together to make it happen. That's the absolute focus. No one's trying to be clever. And hopefully that all gets in order for the big press conference next week.
Eubank Shiraz, Waldy Clark, still a possibility?
Listen, next week there'll be an announcement. There's a lot of fights that have been mentioned that aren't happening, and there's some fights that have been mentioned that are happening.
How good's the card?
I mean, listen, if you've got AJ against Daniel Dubois for the world heavyweight title, the card that is underneath it...
No, because when you did a main event years ago, your undercard was okay.
Compared to the undercard...
For a pay-per-view show.
Compared to the undercard that I would be doing at Wembley, and compared
Britannia.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's actually a good card.
But compared to that was Kell Brook against Frankie Gavin. Yeah. So in terms of AJ fighting for the world heavyweight title at Wembley, the undercard is absolutely spectacular.
Compared to your old ones.
Correct.
Wonderful. Good to see Tyson Fury's back in training. First video is posted since.
I don't know if he's back in training or what it is, but it's kind of like probably a bit of a message to say, all right, I know you saw me in a pub, but I'm taking this seriously. I'm back, and I think the response has been pretty good, really, to him. Someone filming him coming out of a pub. I mean,
has anyone ever filmed you coming out of a pub?
I wouldn't come out of a pub, and I wouldn't come out of a pub falling over. But I know many of my friends that would, and I know many people that would. So I don't judge. And so what? I'm 45. That's the difference. Would I have done it 10 years ago? Not, maybe not, but maybe. But he's not got a fight coming up. He's not even in training. He's gone out, he's had a few beers. And I said, I actually said to Spencer Brown, that a lot of these fighters are complete lightweights. So he's probably had 3 or 4 pints. Honestly, I know so many fighters, you know them as well, who just have 2 or 3 drinks.
I think Fury falls into that bracket.
Probably, I don't know. I've never been out with him socially, but I doubt Tyson Fury's gone down the pub and had 15 pints. So, yeah.
Who drinks 15 pints?
You know when I was like about 16, 17, used to
do 15 pints?
Not 15 pints, but I would have 8 or 9 pints.
That's a fucking lot.
That's probably why I'm still chubby.
But you're big and tall, you carry it well.
Yeah.
You look amazing lately, by the way.
Mate, thank you. But do you know what we used to drink? Snake Bite and Black. Oh, do you know what? I've got to be honest with you.
White Lightning?
Yeah, I've got to be honest with you, right? So I wear this Whoop, right? It's not, AJ got me into it, and I'm not sponsored, I didn't even get it free, I paid for it all. But basically what it does is it tracks your training, your recovery, and particularly your sleep, to see like where you're at in terms of the ability to strain for the day, which is train and your output and all that kind of stuff. When you have a drink, it's on the floor. It doesn't matter if you have 3 or 4 drinks, and it just actually shows you how bad drinking is for you. And I'm so glad that I don't drink anymore.
You look healthier for it, Edward, I've got to say.
I might have a pint of Guinness for the football today.
Football. Right, couple more things.
Irish stout.
Falls Irish stout. Eddie, Johnny Nelson reckons that this fight doesn't happen at all for Fury and Usyk.
Like, do you know what I'm really bored of in boxing? So fucking bored of it. Oh my God, the opinions. I'm reading Twitter. Ryan Garcia does my nutting as well. I just read these opinions. And it's not even Johnny Nelson's fault, because people are asking Johnny Nelson. But I see that come up like, wasn't he the same guy that said the first one wouldn't happen either? Wasn't he the same guy? Like, what? Why? I don't know. Everyone's got an opinion. I'm sure the rematch happens. There's so much money involved in a rematch. You think Tyson Fury's not going to want the chance to avenge his defeat? Come on. But why would you even say that?
Right, listen, I'm pushed for time because Matty Lawless, shout out Matty Lawless, has got a queue of people waiting to interview here in Birmingham. But before we go, you've obviously been involved in a winning England team, right? So if you was to give a little bit of advice to the team, the manager, because you're qualified to actually ask this weirdly, what would you be saying about beating Denmark today at 5 o'clock, Edward?
I felt that in the first game we were a little bit weak down the left, right? Especially in the defence. how many pure left footers have we got in the team? There's also the Kane issue. Like, for me, people are talking about Kane, you know, he hardly touched the ball the other night. If you watched me at Stamford Bridge, it was very similar. You know, you need the target man up front. You can't turn games round without that big man holding it up. And when I came on at Stamford Bridge, it was 3-2, right? And it was a very tight game. People were saying they felt like the rest of the world were coming on. If you watch the commentary back, listen to it carefully. Hearn holds it up with his first touch to Defoe. Defoe takes it forward, slots in Bartlett, goal. This is how simple the game can be. But you need that guy with the movements. Did you see the runs that I was making? I mean, I felt bad for Usain Bolt because it was only my change of speed where he went the other way and went with me on the dummy run where he did his Achilles. And obviously Defoe slotted it through. So don't worry about how many times you touch the ball because actually, like the other night, maybe I only touched it 3 or 4 times, but it's the movement. It's the way that you're changing the game. You're allowing players to move inside. We've got a lot of nippy young players. And Kane is important. He's an old head. You know, and that's why I feel like sometimes, like when I played at Stamford Bridge for England, a lot of the purists could see what I was doing, you know, and it was like the casuals who would go, Hearn's useless, look at him, big fat lump, he's hardly touched the ball. No, but you've seen it's very different, you know. The purists were saying to me, wow, the way you held it up there, you laid it off, and the way you'd run, it would look like you were running away from the ball, but you weren't. You were taking the defenders with you.
You were a decoy at times.
I was a decoy. Oh, I'd take Essien and I'd take Evra to the left, so Jermaine could nip in front, you know. And I say like me, but yeah, like me. Harry can change the game. And I think you need to keep Harry Kane.
Will they beat Denmark tonight?
I think it'll be a draw.
How disappointing was that answer?
Listen,
You've got 3 lines on your fucking shirt. A draw. We're going to batter Denmark.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just thinking, because I might go to the Slovenia match, so if it was a draw, it'd be more exciting. So I'm trying to talk myself into that. But
Eddie Hearn, listen, appreciate your time as always. Look forward to a great show here in Birmingham, Saturday night, live on the Zone. And let's hope for an England win, not a draw.
No, but I just think it's a tough game.
Very Hearn.
I think it's a tough
Draw.
game. No,
Do you settle for draws in life?
no. Sorry.
Why should our nation?
What?
Why should our nation?
I agree. We're going to smash him to pieces this afternoon.
Bosh. Thank you very much.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.